Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. I have been loving this weather. Okay, I know we still have some ups and downs, but when that warmth came, that bright sunshine, I have been so grateful. I'm okay feeling the sweat coming down. And I know some of you, some days it's just too hot. I don't want to complain about it. I am just so grateful it's here. So we have a fabulous show, a jam-packed show. We're going to be talking about North Durham Pride March, which is coming up. We're also going to be talking about digestion with Brittany, signs and symptoms, and how to get to the root of the problem. What kind of testing is available for you? And we're talking about how to mitigate risk, backyard safety. We have had some fatalities recently right within Durham, and so how to prevent those fatalities. So a great show. Keep on watching. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to the set of Modern Business. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and on this show, we'll be talking to young, up-and-coming entrepreneurs, hearing all about their career journey and getting their trade tips. Join me exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm with Mark Birdie, who's the fire chief of Scugog Fire, and we're talking about two important things today. We're talking about mitigating risk around our home, outside of our home, as well. We're talking about boat safety. So the reason why we wanted to talk about mitigating risks is there's been some backyard fatalities in swimming pools already, young kids, as well as wells.
Yes.
So what can we do to help prevent this? Because every year it's still happening,
yes.
right?
And it's, I tell you, it breaks my heart, but you know something, we as individuals, property owners, tenants, whatever the case may be, have to look at what our risks are, whether it be the larger risks, you know, from emergency management, weather coming in, to, you know, what are our risks around our home?
Right.
And what can we do to prevent or mitigate those risks and you know, make our home, our environment safer in general?
Okay. So, you know, when I think about the proper thing of doing your car, before you get in your car, you should be walking around your car and making sure everything. So we should be doing the same thing with our backyards, especially if we have young kids or we're going to have young kids over. Or even with pets, right? Because we need to make sure our fencing is in good repair as well. What are some other things we should be looking out for?
You're 100% right, and let's look at that first.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you have a young toddler at home, and you know, maybe a blow-up pool because you know you want to give them the opportunity to you know, cool off in this hot weather that we're enjoying. I mean, it doesn't take but a couple inches for that young toddler that can crawl to, you know, unfortunately become a statistic. Or, you know, your fence that, you know, perhaps isn't in the best of condition, that walking toddler could walk out of your property and beware, you know, because you've, you know, turned your head for a second. So, you know, again, back to that mitigating risk, those things, you know, combined with other, you know, things, barbecue utensils and what have you, you know, there's dangers around our home that sometimes we're naive to, because we don't, you know, realize, you know, perhaps what curiosity can, you know, can do to a young person.
Now, okay, my heart goes out to the families who have
Me as
lost their
well.
loved ones.
Yeah.
And, you know, hindsight is 20/20,
Yes.
right? So I feel absolutely horrible for what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But let's, we wanted to do this, right? So we could educate
Yep.
families out there to prevent
Yes.
further harm.
Yes.
So some people have big properties
Yep.
and they have big wells. Now, there was a child who recently
Yes, unfortunately.
died, and then you also recently had to rescue a horse out of a well.
We did. We did, and you know, again, it brings sight again to, you know, okay, you have the large property, walk your property.
Okay.
Walk your
Yeah.
property. I can recall back when I was a kid, farmers would walk their property to look for groundhog holes because they didn't want their large livestock falling into
Stepping,
a
right.
groundhog hole, breaking their leg.
Right.
And because inherently, you know, you'd have to put that animal down. No different, you know, when we had this horse rescue, it was a large well. It had a dilapidated top that unfortunately the horse backed into and fell down.
Right.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
the horse you know, survived the fall, and you know, when the owner went looking for it, found it, and we were able to you know, put together a rescue plan that, you know, inherently the horse is alive and well today, thankfully.
Right.
With the help of, you know, our veterinarian services and
Thank
one of our
goodness.
towing companies. And
Okay,
yeah.
now we are going to get into boating safety, but
Sure.
just to kind of wrap that up, is just walk your property
Yeah.
and deal with those potential risks. So
Right away.
maybe if you have holes, you got to fill them up or board around places, put some
Yep.
fencing. Okay,
Yep,
so we
great.
have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure people are going to be safe on the water, as well as just making sure they're dealing with those water toys properly.
Yeah.
So keeping them maintained and safe and making sure that they have everything that they need to stay
You know,
safe.
I look at it this way. You know, you're about to go on a long trip. You know, you just don't get in your car and go for your long trip. You fuel your car up. You
Yeah.
make sure your tire pressure's okay. You check your oil. Maybe you got to change the oil in your car. You pack the supplies you need to go away on that trip, including, you know, what if you break down? Your cell phone's charged, all that neat stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do the same when you go on the water? Why wouldn't you ensure that your vessel is prepared to go on that, you know, perhaps that trip up the Scugog River to Lindsay?
Yeah.
You have all the life preservers you need on the vessel for the people that are on the vessel, and you have the safety equipment, the ability to contact shore in case you get into an issue on the water. You know, these are all small little safety things that you can do as a person, an owner of a vessel, before you go out on the water, and enjoy your time on the water.
Right.
You know, whether it's a successful trip there and back, or you come into, you know, some type of issue, and know your waterway. You know, not all waterways are meant for, you know, traveling along the shoreline. Lake Scugog is a prime example.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a larger boat, you want to follow that water course that's well marked to go from perhaps Port Perry up to Lindsay, and not, you know, get bogged down in the shoreline. So.
Okay, so people need to make sure they also have their boater's license with them, or they're going to get a really big
100%.
ticket.
Yes.
They need to have a bailer, they need to have a flashlight, they need to have a
Yeah,
rope,
whistle, yep.
whistle,
Yep.
and as you said, all of the life jackets that they need.
100%.
Now, and no alcohol. We got to save it for when you get off.
You know something,
Right.
being under the influence, you know, when you're driving a boat is no different than when you're driving a car.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
And there's going to be
And-
rocks in the water, or like
Yep.
you never know.
Yep.
Okay, this was a super quick, it
was.
feels like this flew by.
It did.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
And we'll have you on again
Okay.
very soon.
Deal.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Keep on watching.
No, Frank, don't carry it. Dribble it. Dribble it. Frank, dribble it. Frank, shoot.
Is this some kind of Canadian joke, sir? I mean, I know you're the instructor and everything, but we can't carry the ball. How can we get a decent shot at the peach basket?
All right. Maybe we can allow a carry of a couple of steps.
And Mr. Naismith, sir, It sure slows things down having to climb up here every time.
Well, then let's cut the bottom out of the basket.
Ah, but I need these baskets back.
100 years after James Naismith from Almont, Ontario invented it, basketball was being played by hundreds of millions of people around the world.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me on the show, we have Carrie Ann Large back on the show. Carrie Ann Large is the Executive Director for Scugog Chamber of Commerce. And we also have Mike Galita. Did I say it right? Okay,
yes.
Awesome. And you are the President of North Durham Pride.
Yes.
Okay, I'm so excited to have both of you on the show because we're talking about the North Durham Pride March that is coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, Carrie Ann, do you want to start with what's happening?
Yeah. So we at the Chamber, we were really happy when Mike reached out to us and asked us to partner with him on this event. It was something that we as the Chamber were looking to do, but when he stepped forward and asked us to help, it was just a perfect merriment of both of the organizations. So we're really, really happy to be part of the march, be part of the picnic, the after-hours stuff. Like, it's just been really wonderful working with them, and it helps us, us to learn and understand why this is so important. So yeah, we're really excited.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, it's great to have you on the show. This is your first time on the show.
Yes, this is my first time.
Won't be the last.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So this event is coming up on June the 10th.
Yes.
And why is this event so important? Why are you extra excited that this event is happening?
Well, it's about visibility and increasing that visibility out in the rural areas. We have a lot of visibility in the city and we have a lot of support out there, but we do have support out here as well. And I feel that sometimes gets lost, especially when you have children growing up here and feeling like they have to leave just to feel included or, just safe.
Yeah.
So having this celebration out here is really giving them a safe place to be themselves, to enjoy their day, to be part of the community, their home, and to also just express themselves and not be afraid to be with their friends and their families. So
Amazing. Okay, so this event is all-inclusive, it's all ages, and what is the event going to look like? So,
well,
it starts across Food Basics,
Foodland.
Foodland, yes.
Oh, sorry. Foodland. Sorry, Foodland.
So right in front of Reflection Park, we're going to meet
Okay.
there around 9 o'clock where everybody's going to rally. It's open to everyone. So that's why
Okay.
we called it a march and not a parade. Parade, we don't have the floats, but it's going to be a community kind of participation.
Okay.
So we're going to meet there around 9. We're going to hand out flags. We're going to get some banners, get ready. It's going to start around 9:30, and it's going to be led by a drag queen, Callie Contour, and then followed by her would be the Port Perry Dance Academy. So they're going to be performing as we're walking down to We Are Family. So it's just perfect. Yes.
Okay, I better not sing.
Yeah. So then as we're walking down the street, everyone will follow, and we'll make our way down to Palmer Park.
Okay.
And at Palmer Park, that's when the celebration actually starts. We're going to have entertainment. We're going to have activities for the kids. We're going to have community booths for information for anybody. We also are, there's the farmers market happening at the same time, so if people want to explore that, they can explore that as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the businesses are dressing up their windows. We have pride flags going down Queen Street, so it's quite exciting. It's going to be colorful.
Nice.
Yeah. And then once we get down there, what we're going to do is we're going to have everybody take their small flags that we hand out and put it down by the, I guess, what would you call that? The little round.
Oh, the gazebo.
Gazebo.
The gazebo.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And we're going to have it there, and it's going to be something that people could actually take pictures of and, sit down and, see all those flags and the colorfulness there. So that's going to be right beside the stage as well. So if they want to pose with the drag queens and drag kings, that's awesome too.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so exciting. Okay, so it's going right until what time, do you think?
Well, the celebration is going up till 4, but at 2 o'clock, the entertainment in the park is going to shut down, but we're still going to have the activities open for all the kids.
Okay.
And then actually going to have 2 other events start up. So in Scugog Library, we're going to have TED Talks with a gay author. His name is Joe Bainbridge, and his book is The Queer Musings of a One-Time Boy Skater, and basically it's about his life growing up in a small town, small community, and being a boy figure skater. So it's going to be great. And then on top of that, we also have an event at Old Flame. It starts at 2 to 4:30. We're going to have the drag queen and drag king come up there and do a small performance, so it's more intimate performance for everyone as they have a nice refreshing beverage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And then from there we're going to have buses, shuttle buses, taking people from Old Flame up to Two Blokes, and the celebration in Two Blokes will start around 6, but they're free to come anytime. They're going to be open the full day, so if anybody wants to come through, that would be great. But yeah, that's the full event. They're going to go up until midnight. It's going to be exciting.
Okay.
Full day.
It's a full day, yeah.
Amazing. It's about time that a celebration like this is in a small community.
Exactly.
Right? I know you guys did a celebration last year, but the fact that you are expanding it just shows the local support.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I think last year we did it very quickly, and we didn't get to actually kind of bring in everybody within the community to help out.
Yeah.
So it was a small group, mostly the affirming churches in the Scugog area. So this year we had the opportunity to partner with amazing people and the township itself, and just make it larger and more inclusive, because now it's the whole town that's being involved, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, I think after last year's event, just to go to that, after last year's event, the chatter in town was, we really want to be a part of this. So. Mike's done an amazing job sort of elevating the profile of it, and it's just wonderful to be a part of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you to both of you for making this happen. So let's get the word out.
Yes.
Let's pass this out on social media and make sure everyone knows to come on June 10th. And there's no registration.
Nope.
Just come and join in whatever segments of the event that you want to participate in.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, both of you. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
And he fell. Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
You can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
Yeah, I need a ride.
Hi, Mark Millian here, one of the hosts of the Capital PTBO Sports Show. Every week we explore local sports, pro sports. We give you a mano-a-mano trivia challenge. We give you a big wheel of Win Nothing, which you'll have to see to believe. We also do things like Record Machine and different segments with email. And we'll bring you a new episode every week, Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm with Brittany Duffy, who her company is called Digestion with Brittany, and I connected with Brittany on Instagram and then from within Uxbridge, and I really wanted to have you on the show because you deal with digestion issues, and I think a lot of people actually have digestion issues and either don't realize it or just don't do anything about it and just kind of deal with the symptoms that they're having, but not getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
So let's talk more. Can you give an overview about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, and that basically means I focus on the whole person, body, mind, spirit. And then I help people understand like the underlying symptoms of why they're experiencing their digestive issues, because it could be they're mentally stressed, lack of sleep, a relationship in their life is aggravating their body, and their body is reacting in a way that their environment is creating. So there's tons of reasons why someone's not feeling great, and it's nice because every person's different. So I make the wellness plans individualized, and the wellness plans include food suggestions, recipes. I have a meal plan, it's like a meal plan recipe handbook that I give people.
Okay.
And there's also supplements that I offer people, and most of it's lifestyle though.
Okay.
So
and the education about the lifestyle. So let's talk about some of the symptoms that people can have with having food sensitivities or digestion issues. And something that I find it's so interesting is people might just feel just not that good. Maybe it's just being sluggish. Because when our body is so inundated, and you might see this in a different way, and I want you to share it.
Yeah.
But if our body is so working so hard, that sometimes it can't even give us the proper signals to let us know that it's having an issue with this or it's having an issue with this. Sometimes we need to clear everything out so it can communicate again.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so what are some of the symptoms, the issues that people can be having?
The most common one is gas, bloating, loose bowel, constipation, heartburn, acid reflux. That's the most common things. And they can, when you always experiencing these symptoms, you're used to it. So you don't even know it's a problem. But it's when you become more connected to your mind that you acknowledge. You have little check-ins. Okay, how am I feeling with this food or this conversation or my lifestyle? How do I feel about this? We don't do check-ins because we're so busy.
Yeah.
So once you understand these little mind-body check-ins, you can understand why the symptoms are happening. And sometimes it's just you're having a conversation, and then once you do the check-in, you're like, oh, this conversation triggers my gas or my bloating.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
that mind body connection really, these two are so connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the symptoms can go away once we fully create a healthy environment, mentally, emotionally, physically. And food's great because quality of food, we are what we eat, and everything has an energetic vibration. So I just find it so interesting because sometimes food helps certain people, but sometimes they just got to shift their mindset, and their lifestyle that they're doing is just negative, and it's affecting their energy as a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I've been dealing with my own digestion issues since probably 1998. I would say something like that, trying different things, right? And I had discovered that when I took gluten out of my diet, when I took dairy out of my diet, I started having some relief and started seeing some changes. But I've also noticed that coffee was causing me inflammation, and then even just weird things I didn't even realize I was allergic to corn. Sorry about my sound, everybody. It caught to my bracelet. That's never happened before. Yeah, I would end up being sensitive to corn, and then I found out avocado isn't a good match because as I was clearing stuff out, these different things were affecting me that I didn't even realize it. So it's really interesting. So you can do testing to find out what could be some of these food sensitivities.
Yeah, so part of my wellness plans, I offer people the option if they want to do some functional lab testing. So I'm partnered with this lab company, and there's you name it, they can get a test for it. So it's your histamine levels for inflammation, C-reactive protein, gluten sensitivity. I could get your stool test analyzed with the GM MAP stool test to indicate potential parasites, H. pylori, all sorts of things. So it gives you a better overview of where you're at, and then we can know what to actually do to support the body instead of guessing, oh, it sounds like it could be this, so let's just do this protocol or these suggestions to help reduce the symptoms you have. So it's a great tool to help people know for sure this is what's happening.
We could probably do a few segments easily on all of this. I just want to make sure everyone's aware that you are available in Port Perry and in Lindsay. So in Lindsay, it's called Calm Surrender.
Yes.
And then in Port Perry, it's called Inner Vision Healing. Okay. And you can also get her on Instagram, Digestion with Brittany. Thank you so much. It was so wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. That's great.
Okay, so we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
On the next episode of Cinema Scene, we'll be talking about movies. And next week, watch for our episode on movies. And finally, find us online where you can see my reviews on movies.
Welcome. Join me on the Rogers TV Durham for learning yoga in just 10 classes. My name is Sri. I'm a yoga teacher at Yoga Point, and it's my privilege to spend the next few weeks with you.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I want to thank our guests for coming on the show. What a great jam-packed show of awesome information. So remember, the North Durham Pride March is taking place on June 10th. There is no registration. You can just go and be a supporter. All are welcome. It's all inclusive, all ages. And remember, Digestion with Brittany. You can connect with her on Instagram, and let's mitigate those risks in our backyards. Take a look around, check your fencing, check for holes, check for stumps, check for wells, check to make sure everything is going to be safe. And if you have a backyard pool, please make sure your eyes are on your kids the whole time. And if you can't have your eyes on your kids, maybe get a lifeguard, hire a lifeguard for pool parties, things like that. Keep everyone safe, and make sure if you're going out on a boat, stay safe. Have all those tools that you need, your rope, your bailer, your flashlight, your license, your life jackets, no alcohol. We'll be back next week with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.
Call the Rogers TV Viewer Response Line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
My Uncle Cheney was one of over 150,000 Indigenous children that were taken to residential schools between the 1800s and 1996. My uncle ran away from school wanting to get home to his mom and dad, and sadly he didn't make it and died of exposure. When Gord Downey found out about my late Uncle Cheney's story, he wrote Secret Path, a series of poems that became an album, then a graphic novel, a documentary, and a concert. Gord met my family, and together we formed the Gord Downey and Cheney Winjack Fund. Together we are sharing Secret Path and other reconciliation resources with